Chapter 5, Section 5. Chapter 5, Section 5. Now what they use for an example on this is probably the most difficult of what you're going to see. But we're going to go over this. We are trying to find rational roots. Roots are when we set an equation equal to 0. Alright? So when we set that equation equal to 0, we want to find all the roots of it. The way we do is we take a look at the first term and the last term. So in this case, we're looking at 6 and 12. Alright, that's the first and the last term. And the way we're going to do this, we're going to take a look at the last term first, and then the sixth term, or then the first term, and that's how we're going to use that to figure out what our roots can be. So if we take a look at our last term, what are all the factors of 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Now, what are the first term is 6. So what are all the factors of 6? 1, 2, 3, and 6. Here's how we figure out what our roots are for this equation right here, this big long equation. We are going to put this over each one of these, this over each one of these, this over each one of these. Watch what happens. 1 over 1. Why is this doing this to me? What's that? 1 over 1. And we can say plus or minus on it. 1 over 2, plus or minus. 1 over 3, plus or minus. 1 over 4, or 1 over 6, 1 over 6, plus or minus. That's a start. Now we take a look at 2 over 1. 2 over 1, which is 2, plus or minus. 2 over 2 is just 1, right? And that's what we've got right here is just 1. So we don't have to duplicate that 1. But we take a look at 2 over 3, plus or minus. 2 over 6 is 1/3, right? 2 over 6 is 1/3. And we already have 1/3 here, so we don't have to do that one. And now we go to this one. 3 over 1, plus or minus 3. 3 over 2, plus or minus 3/2. 3 over 3 is 1. We already have that, so we don't have to worry about it. And 3 over 6 is 1/2. We already have that. We don't have to worry about it. Now we go to 4. Plus, wait. 4 over 2 is 2. We already have that one. Don't have to worry about it. 4 over 3, plus or minus. 4 over 6 is 2/3. We already have that. We don't have to worry about it. Then we do 6. We got 6 plus or minus. 6 over 2 is 3. We got that already. 6 over 3 is 2. We got that already. 6 over 6 is 1. We got that already. We don't have to worry about it. And then we go to 12. 12 over 1, plus or minus. 12 over 2 is 6. We got that. 12 over 3 is 4. We got that. 12 over 6 is 2. We got that. So, here are all our possible roots to this. Yeah, not a big deal. Wait. We're not done. There is more. Wait till the mind explodes and then I'll worry about it. Okay. We are going to test each one of these. Listen, we're going to test each one of these in this equation. The plus one we're going to test, the minus one we're going to test, the plus half, to be able to figure out what the roots are that are actually for this. We can also use synthetic division to test them. Don't worry, guys. I'd never do this to you on a test. But I'm showing you what you can see in this type of situation. Now, down here, let me take a look at an example here, or a problem. Do you notice that this is the only one that has a 2 and a 1 for a root for the first one, and 54 has a bunch? But a lot of these are like 1 and yeah. So really what you'd be testing here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12, plus or minus. What's that? Yes. I would just take, all I'd have for my 12 be a plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 4, plus or minus 6, and plus or minus 12. All right, still a lot. I mean, you're talking, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 different things you'd have to do to put in there to be able to figure out which ones are factors. All right, that's a lot. That's why I'm sitting here looking at this before going, do I really want to teach this? Okay, I'm not going to put this on a test because you guys would be sitting there working on it all flipping hour. Yeah. All right, so I wanted to show you this portion of it so that you know, you may see this. How many are going to college here? How many are going to college? You may take a math course that involves this. All right? You may take a math course that involves this. So that's why I wanted to show you that portion of it. So instead, remember when we did this before, when it gave you three numbers like -1, 2, and 4, and we had to figure out the multiples for this, and we did this. It was x minus whatever was in here times x minus 2 and x minus 4. Do we remember doing that and multiplying them all together? Good, cool. I'm glad you guys remember that, because you're going to do it again, but this time you're going to be doing it like this. I'm going to have -4. Actually, let's do this. It's -4, 2 minus 3i, and 2 plus 3i. All right, so now when we figure this out, we're going to put this in. X minus a -4, x minus 2 minus 3i, and x minus 2 plus 3i. Now you got to multiply them together. So here we're gonna make this. We're gonna simplify this a little bit. X plus 4, x minus 2 plus 3i, x minus 2 minus 3i, and you got to multiply them together. Now, I want to show you something real quick. Let me erase this portion of it, because come on. All right. If I was to take, let's say, x minus 1 and x plus 1 and multiply them together, I notice that we have an x and a 1, an x and a 1, but two different signs. Remember I'd be showing you this? X times x, 1 times 1. All right, -1 times 1. All right. Do recall. Good. I'm glad you recall. Because I want you to take a look up here. X minus this and x plus, or actually, well, we got minus and minus here. Is this going to work? -2 plus 3i, x minus 2 minus 3i. Yeah, I did, and I don't know if I was hoping that that's what I was going to come up with and do, but I don't think that'll work like that. So, you guys, you'll have to multiply this out. You'll have to multiply that out. Some of these are going to cancel. I mean, obviously some are going to cancel in here. I go x, I'd have x squared. I'd have minus 2x. I'd have a minus 3ix. And then I'd have a minus 2x. I'd have a minus plus 4. And I'd have a minus or a plus 6. That's plus 6i over here. All right. So then I'd take my 3i and I'd have a plus 3i. Oop. Don't want that there. Plus 3i x. I'd have a minus 6i. I would have a minus 9i squared. What's I squared? Negative 1. So I'd have a minus 9i squared, which eventually is going to turn out to be a plus 9. All right. So we'd bring these together. I'd have x squared minus 4x. That would be 0. I'd have a plus 4. And that would be 0, and I'd have a plus 9. Combine these, and I'd have x squared plus 13. And then once I had this, then I'd multiply it by my x plus 4 to come up with that. Okay? All right, so we're multiplying these together. Let's see all that. You want me to clear that? Yeah, Nikki doesn't need it. Let's do 5 through 20. All right, let's do these. Let's do the top 6. Top 6 right there. Have those done for tomorrow.